So it looks like it's time for another episode of Urban Archeology.
I love it. I think it's great.
We're going to talk about some Cartoon Network statues that were found in a barn in Atlanta. And this is after we talked about Spyro the Dragon being found in a gas station in Oregon. So it is amazing what you can find just kind of laying around, right?
I think it's great. I think this is exciting. I think it's fun. I am all about it. I mean, I think Spyro's a little more exciting to me than this, but you know what? I think it's amazing.
So we're going to talk about a guy from a collectible store apparently finding these Cartoon Network statues after looking for them for 10 years. There's an article out there on Deserto, which we actually had to restart the video because they got a lot of things wrong, which I was very surprised. But we'll talk about where these...
Wait, the cowardly dog, and...
They said the Cartoon Network went off the air in 2024. I was like, come on, guys, seriously.
You need to do a fact check, please.
But we'll talk about it because that's where this information came from, and then we'll look at this guy's photos and hopefully get some more information on his search for these statues. But no, it's very cool to see these things just kind of lying around, I guess. And you know, these companies, when they're done with this stuff, sometimes it goes to auction, and sometimes they just mothball it, and sometimes they just get rid of it because it doesn't mean anything to them. Disney does this all the time in the theme parks.
There's all kinds. You can get all kinds of stuff at auction and stuff from Disney.
Oh yeah, or you can just steal it. Yeah, people steal the stuff too.
Ironically, just a couple of days ago, just on Memorial Day, we were talking about where Buzzy is.
Yeah, nobody knows where Buzzy is. Buzzy was, for those of you who don't know, in Florida, they used to have an attraction called Cranium Command, and Buzzy was a little animatronic boy, and somebody stole him and stripped his clothes off. Yes, it gets weird, and we don't know what happened to him.
But anyway, back to this, which is what's important to people.
This is what's important right now. Ben 10 and
Foster
Blue, and we got Flapjack, and probably I would say this is the best era of Cartoon Network.
Is that a Mandy from Billy and Mandy back there too?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So this is when Cartoon Network was still relevant. We've been talking about this, the decline of Cartoon Network. I just did a video the other day. I was shocked at how low the viewership is right now for Cartoon Network. It's not dead, but it's almost dead. It's 50,000 people or less watching it every day.
That's awful.
And it used to be millions of kids watching Cartoon Network every day, watching Disney Channel every day, watching Nickelodeon every day. And now Cartoon Network is exactly as we said was going to happen, just a brand that Warner Brothers slaps on some of its animated projects. And then those projects are getting punted to other streaming services. I mean, Gumball's on Hulu. We got the new Scooby-Doo on Tubi. I think they're bringing, weirdly enough, bringing Steven Universe back or doing a spinoff, and that's on Amazon Prime. You know, none of this stuff's on Cartoon Network anymore, but it's still on the air.
They like their own ways. It's like when you graduate high school. The gang just separates.
The gang separates, right? But right now they're still running, 24/7 reruns of Teen Titans Go. So it's still around in some form. Let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get woohoo if you do. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
This is Clownfish TV, and if you'd like more of us and you'd like to help support the channel, go to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com. And for less than the cost of a super chat, which we do not do here, we don't do that, you can get some paywalled content, including podcasts and episodes you will not find on YouTube. And ironically enough, I just talked about Cartoon Network dying. If you'd like to listen to us instead of watch us, you don't want to watch us bob up and down, go out to iTunes or Spotify, wherever you find audio podcasts, and we are there too. You cannot escape us. That's impossible. So let's talk about this article.
Why would you want to? Anyway.
Some people would want to. Clownfish TV is harassing me. No, we're not. We're gonna harass Deserto a little bit here though, because this article, a paragraph in, and we're like, yeah, there's some stuff that's just very wrong here. But this is coming from, Deserto. Life-size Cartoon Network statues finally found after 10-year-long hunt. Okay, cool. A collector has finished their decade-long search for the original life-size Cartoon Network statues that used to be found in downtown Atlanta. Now, if you go out and look, yes, there were all kinds of Cartoon Network statues in downtown Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very cool. They're all over the place. And so Ted Turner started Cartoon Network, and he's from Atlanta, and I know William Street was the animation studio that did a lot of the Adult Swim stuff, and they worked out of Atlanta, which is why some of the voice actors and stuff were not union. That's a whole nother thing. But the actual animation studio for most of the shows was in Burbank, and they did shut that studio down. They did move out of the Burbank location. But apparently these statues have been MIA for a while. But yeah, there's like all kinds, Cartoon Network studio tours and gift shop in downtown Atlanta. And they must change them out, I guess, based on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, that would be very cool to see in person. I've never seen any of this stuff in person, but it would be very, very cool. So anyway, this guy has been looking for them. And the article says, for people of a certain age, Cartoon Network was the go-to channel when they got home from school or had an early start on a Saturday morning. Yes, now 50,000 people. Yeah, go figure. You'd find Coward the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, that's Courage the Cowardly Dog. And that was actually 90s.
Yeah, Ben 10, Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and Codename Kids Next Door on there. Now they're all on Tubi. They're all on Tubi. Sadly, the network came to an end back in August of 2024. Signing off from the airways for good. Nope. Naturally, the closures brought out collectors. No, that's not actually what happened. RIP Cartoon Network was trending because they were closing the studio and the future of the channel looked to be in doubt. They weren't greenlighting a whole bunch of new stuff. Everything was up in the air. They had contract negotiations coming up, but they're still making Cartoon Network content. They're just putting it on other platforms, not Cartoon Network. So I guess it's basically dead. It's mostly dead. It's not completely dead.
Still
but they
twitching.
It's still twitching. There's a little bit here. Yeah. Iconic Cartoon Network statues finally found. So Triple C Toys and Collectibles claimed to find these statues in a barn after a post on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you find stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you miss out. If I didn't have pictures, you would never believe what we found. Greatest Facebook Marketplace find ever. You betcha we found them. A barn loft full of statues from the Cartoon Network headquarters in Atlanta.
I would have crapped myself if I'd seen the picture and the Facebook Marketplace and been like, hey, come see about buying these. I would have been like, holy crap, too. Now, you can find some good stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I found some very rare ponies on Facebook Marketplace before, My Little Ponies.
That is true. That's true. We were worried they were going to smell like cigarettes, and they didn't. Because a lot of times you find 80s toys, they all smell like smoke.
Mm-hmm. And they're in beautiful condition too, so I was like, and the price was really good too. But yes, this is a lot better than what I found. I don't know. Can you imagine being on Facebook Marketplace and you open it and that pops up?
Yeah, that would
I'd be
wild.
like, holy shit,
Tara Strong actually is like, wow, yeah, Tara Strong, who worked on Powerpuff Girls and many other animated series. So let's go through the pictures here. We got Ben 10. We got Billy and Mandy. Damn. Could you imagine actually having Billy and Mandy in your house?
Yeah, how many trips did that take? And how much money did this cost?
I don't know. And he's got that SUV. I'm like, dude, I want to know what he paid. Yeah. Blue.
That one I would put in my house. I like that one.
I like Blue. Oh, yeah. We got
they got
Chowder.
I grabbed Chowder.
I love Chowder. Chowder is massively underrated. It was actually one of the best series I think Cartoon Network did. And it doesn't, I don't think it gets enough love, I think, compared to a lot of the shows that came after it. But I just love the whole 70s look of it. I guess the kid that was the voice of Chowder, I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that he was doing romance novels or something.
If it pays, I mean, hey, that's, or Mandy's paying like crazy.
Yep. Fosters, more Fosters. And then, yeah, this is where they were. They were in the HQ.
Were they outside? They were the statues.
No, those are just pictures of them, where they were. So they would probably just rotate characters based on whatever was. Oh, Rosie.
I saw Rosie in the pictures earlier. These are the ones they put in the article that they used to have on the side. But the ones he found were the ones that they showed with him with it. Eduardo was one. Did you mention it? You didn't mention Eduardo was there too.
No, I didn't mention Eduardo.
You can't miss him. He's right there. He's huge.
Yeah. His whole backstory was very tragic, but, it's just sad because we're never going to have this kind of thing again, especially with Warner Brothers getting sold and everything is merging with tech. It used to be you'd go to a TV studio or a game company or a comic book. I went to DC Comics, late 90s as DC Comics, and they had like a big Superman coming out of the wall and like all these really impressive displays and stuff. So you knew you were at that company.
Yeah,
like
I wish they would do that again. I think everything's gone too corporate and
Sterile.
plain. Up here in the corner, you can see that's where Blue was.
Yeah, Blue was
That's
the
what they're
three.
showing you there. But it's just like it's so boring now, and everybody wants it to go back to this. This is what people want. They want the Superman's busting out of the wall. They
Yeah.
want the funky floors and all the characters, coming out of the marquees and stuff. That's what they want.
This person's like, I'll never understand how these end up in the hands of the most random people. They need to be in a museum. Why would you sell Blue? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, by the way. Maybe. How much for Billy and Mandy? 6, maybe 7,000. Yeah, 6, 7. There we go. Slide 7 and 10 is the Cartoon Network store in Atlanta, which was separate from the studio office building. So it's the same.
Well, I don't think this
statue.
person. To be fair, I don't think this person's really going for accuracy.
Yeah.
Or
I don't think so.
is this the Instagram post?
This is the Instagram post.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
Trying to show where they were. Never mind.
Yeah, my gym partner's a monkey. Camp Laszlo, Foster's Home. I pay so much money to have these. Yeah, the cartoon stands are going to be like getting all juicy for this, but I'm sure they're going to be very expensive. And this guy owns a collectible store.
Wait, go back. There's more. I didn't see that picture earlier because I was
Which
looking
one?
at something else. Next one. Oh, damn. Our kids would freak.
Yeah, it's
They'd be
that's-
like, I want these. I want these now. I love these things. They would go absolutely nuts. Gonna be Mac in there.
Yeah, they had a Cartoon Network. I think they had a Cartoon Network hotel, and I think they're shutting them down. But they were going
did that. I thought they were long gone.
I think it was like last year they shut the last one down. I'm pretty sure. And they're reskinning them. They should open. So once the dust settles on this sale, if you really want to lean into the nostalgia, Paramount, Warner, whatever the hell you're going to call yourself, Sky Dance, whatever, do a Cartoon Network theme park land with like all the retro Cartoon Network characters, and people freaking eat that up.
Probably they're going to go nuts for this. I just think it's really cute and exciting. I can't wait to see people find next. I would love to know more. Like, you found it in Facebook Marketplace. How much was it? He's not going to tell you that. But I'm sure it wasn't cheap because they had. I mean, it's not like the Spyro guy that was like 80 years old and didn't know what he had. But how does it end up in a barn loft? I don't know. I want to know the story. I want to know how it got from point A to point B. That's what I want to know. What happened?
I'm guessing somebody worked there, or it was. It's probably somebody who worked there and they just like stored them or something.
Awesome. I want Chowder.
I would love to have Chowder.
I put Chowder here.
I just
Kids
love
would want Blue, but I want Chowder.
Yeah, I would take Chowder.
They want Billy and Mandy. They would want Billy and Mandy.
They are Billy and Mandy. Well, no, they're Mandy and Mandy. They're Mandy and Mandy. That's our kids are Mandy and Mandy. That's basically it. So they've been hunting for them for a decade. He gave up hope of finding them at one point. The collector noted they traveled from Tennessee and spent 3 hours loading a rented U-Haul truck with them. I'm just happy knowing they didn't get destroyed.
Oh, me
One
too.
pleased commenter said, bro found mythic loot. This needs to be in a museum. And that's all they got on that.
I know. I just would love to know the rest of the story. Like, how'd they end up there? How long were they there for and everything else? We're not going to know that unless the owner of the barn tells the story. But hey, if you want to tell the story, contact us. We'll gladly put you on.
Yeah,
so you can tell the story.
I would love to know the story. I'd also like to know how much for Chowder, but that's a whole nother. It's like, for you, Neon, $10 million.
Well, you wouldn't buy Battle Cat, so you're not going to buy Chowder either.
No, we told the story about there's a guy who does carvings for Knott's Berry Farm. It was in the other video, the Spyro video, which if you like this video, go out and watch that one too. But he actually does carvings for Knott's Berry Farm, and he had a Battle Cat on a wagon on a trailer behind his truck. He was going down the road. We stopped him. It's like, what's up with the Battle Cat carving? Huge. It was life-size Battle Cat.
You can sit on it.
We got the whole story that it was for Knott's Berry Farm, and he offered to sell it to me. He wanted like $5,500 for it, and you were trying to talk me into buying it.
It was a really good price, and you should have bought it.
Yeah,
it was higher than that. I thought it was closer to 10,000, but I could.
No, it was like 55.
I still would have told you to buy it anyway.
I think he was used. I think he was a slightly used Battle Cat.
I don't care. I told you.
Seen some action. This pussy's seen some action.
I'm being good.
Only
after 2 kids, Anyway, I think this is exciting and very, very awesome, and I love anything like this. So I can't wait to find more. So when people are finding these, I can't wait to see the stories because this stuff's exciting. This is like I love this urban, archaeology stuff where you're finding stuff. Well, this isn't be urban, this would be rural, but like in barns, and people have found things for years in barns that were just like stashed away that were important things. I love it. Like everything about this stuff, I just love. So I can't wait to see more stories like this.
All right, so we got to wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
And bye.